All right, so I did a quick video just about the tool changer M6 command in GSender, and I just wanted to do a quick follow-up video to that. I had a few questions around how to set it up, how to use it, and I just thought I would go over it in a bit more detail. So I've just got a simple job setup that involves a few tool changes. If I can get my bit out here. So I'm just going to switch the bit. So for this, first what we want to do is set up our tool changer. So this is the tool change probe that I'm using. So this is a tool length sensor. And to set this up in GSender, you're going to go up to the little gear icon and click on it. And then in the settings menu, you'll go down to tool change. By default, the tool change is pass-through is disabled and it's set to ignore. So essentially, if your G code that you load has an M6, it's just ignored. In this case, what we want to do is we want to change that so that the behavior for use is fixed tool sensor is what we want. In this case, you could use pause. So if you just wanted a simple pause and you were going to manually re-zero, you could. You could also add custom code to it, which is kind of cool. So if you had a tool changer and you needed the spindle to do specific stuff to change the tool, you could add that code there. In this case, again, I'm going to use the fixed tool sensor because that's what I have. It's gonna, by default, I've set my position, but I'm going to show you that right now. So it has an option for grab current position. So I'm going to close this. I'm going to make sure my machine is homed. So you're basically just trying to line it up so that the spindle is right over the top of the sensor. Now for this, it's important, and I can show you why in a minute, that you use essentially like your longest bit. So if you put a short stubby bit in here and locate the probe, next time when it takes the long tool, it's going to drive it right into the sensor and break things. So you want to make sure that you're using one of your longest tools, and maybe even giving yourself a little bit more room just to make sure that when you change to a new tool, that you're not crashing the bit into the sensor, because that definitely will happen. Like I said, I can show you that result in a little bit here. So I'm gonna put this, just double check that I have the length right here. So I've got a long 1/8 inch, 1/4 inch shank, 1/8 inch end mill. I'm gonna put in there, and I'm not gonna tighten it down too much because this isn't the bit I'm using for this first part, but I do want to make sure that I'm lined up. So you bring it down to just about where it's touching. It doesn't have to be pushing on the sensor yet, but it should be pretty close, like just a little bit above it. And again, you want to do this with your longest end mill and give yourself a little bit of wiggle room, like, you know, maybe a couple 3 mils above. So hopefully you can see that I'm, maybe zoom in a little bit. I'm just above the sensor right now with my longest end mill. So from there, I'm going to go back into, or maybe bring that down just a little bit more. Again, it's a balance between safety and efficiency. If most of your tools are short and you set it up with your longest bit and a lot of extra runway, it takes a while to seek to get the bit position. So on screen, I'm going to do a grab current position, and this is going to reset the numbers so that I have the machine knows exactly where the tool sensor is, and can return to it every time. So once that's set, I can leave here, and then I'm going to load my file. Okay, so I'm going to start the initial job. So this is cutting with a 1/4 inch compression bit. Okay, so now the spindle's going to stop. It's going to raise up, and the wizard's going to pop up. So in the wizard, it's saying our fixed tool sensor tool change detected, stay clear of the machine, and wait for the spindle to turn off. So now that the spindle has stopped, I can do the probe of the initial tool to do the calculation. So it's going to drop down. See how it stops a little bit above? So now it's going to slow seek down. And this is where, like I said, if you aren't careful with the length of your end mill, that quick movement down can crush your tool length sensor. The homing rate can be adjusted, but I definitely recommend for the initial run, leaving it run slow. It's just a lot safer. Here is the remnants of the limit switches I have crushed and broken and had to replace in this sensor, playing with it and not heeding my own advice. Okay, so now it's done the first probe of the initial tool. So we can swap this tool out for our second tool. And our second tool in this job is going to be a 90-degree V-bit. So I'm going to loosen up this, pull out that bit, and I'm going to take the V-bit. Make sure it's set. So this one is quite a bit shorter, so you're going to see it seek a lot longer. So I'm going to say probe tool change. So it's going to drop it down, and now it starts that slow seek. So again, you want to make sure that that tool isn't too long, or that the initial drop of your spindle will crush the sensor. Like I said, I've done that a couple times now. So it's going to do the first touch off. Second touch. It's now going to bring the spindle back up, and it will start. It will give me a final message saying everything looks good. If we're happy, we can resume the cut. So it'll move back into position and get the spindle started. And away we go. So again, it's going to bring the spindle, stop the spindle, bring it back for the initial probe of now the third tool. So I'm going to ensure the router's off. So in this case, because I've already probed the tool, it knows the height. So on the second, I guess this is now the third tool change, I don't have to do, I don't have to do the initial tool probe. It already knows and saved that value. So I'm going to pop this tool out. And I'm going to switch to another tool. Okay, so once I have the tool set and changed, I can then proceed with change tool. It'll drop down. Again, that last little bit of seeking. it'll bring the spindle up, and it's going to have me confirm again that everything is good and that I can resume cutting. So we'll do that. Raise my Z up. Get this out of the way. I'll just grab the vacuum quick and show you that profile. All right. So now we're all done. So you can go in here. So you can see on the outer, oops, wrong circle. On the outer edge, I've got a V-bit chamfer, and on the inside, I've got a 1/8 inch roundover. So again, why would you want to do this versus just manual tool changes, run different files? If you were to carve, let's say I carved something that removed all of the stock and I had no 0 point for my Z-axis anymore, the tool length sensor makes that way easier because you take your initial measurement and then everything is done off of the difference in the end mills. So if you were to do like a 3D relief, or let's say even just a deep carve in a tray, or maybe you surfaced your job before you started your carve and your Z height changed, now it makes those bit changes really hard afterwards. So the tool length sensor is definitely a handy tool for things like that. Thanks. Hopefully that was helpful to some. Bye for now.